Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Thanks for taking some time to watch the video out here on Table Rock Lake today. And I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to fish breakwalls like you see behind us here. These are becoming more common in all the lakes we have across the country. As the lakes get more developed and there's more docks, these breakwalls are becoming more of a prime structure for the bass. And I'm going to give you guys a full tutorial on how to fish these things. So here we go, check it out. First off, guys, we're going to go over the whole breakwall because there's different aspects and parts of the breakwall that are key as far as catching fish. This right here is always one of the top areas on a breakwall. This is the corner end of it here. There's almost always some bass around the corners here. They get on the edges, on the sides there. You can make a parallel cast as close as you can to the outside part of it. Then come back around at this side, but there's always normally a concentration of fish that live here. And a lot of times you're going to have some cables running off into the water here, and I'll show you as we go along, but a lot of the times these fish will get on the cables. Now a lot of times also these breakwalls have openings inside. You can see right here they're openings. I've caught a lot of fish by like flipping a jig into those openings, especially if the breakwalls are a little bit shallower, a little bit off-colored water, just taking a flipping stick and flipping in there. But one of the things you want to definitely do is you want to get in tight to these things. And when you're on the straight part of it here, you want to parallel these things like with a jerk bait, a spinner bait, a crank bait, a chatter bait, that type of thing. Try to keep the bait, just underneath the styrofoam. If the water visibility is less than 3 feet, a lot of the breakwalls here, guys, how the fish position on them has a lot to do with the water depth and the water clarity. If you're on a lake like Table Rock Lake right here, we're in, probably 30 foot of water here, water visibility 4 or 5 feet. These fish could be suspended as deep as 20 foot down underneath the breakwall, and they can also be out in front of it. A lot of times these shad will hang out and cruise in front of the breakwalls, and you can take a drop shot along and just like pitch a drop shot in front of the boat, count it down 20 30 feet and catch them like that. But see right here, you guys can see that cable in the water right there. Definitely you always want to make sure that you hit that cable, because those shad will feed around those cables with the algae on them, and it'll attract bass in with them as well. Now, like I said, if the water clarity is greater than 4 feet, a lot of the fish will be suspended deeper on it. But some of these breakwalls, like for example, if you fish Grand Lake, Oklahoma, they may be in like 8 or 9 foot of water. Water visibility may be 12 inches deep or so. That's when those fish are going to be suspended right underneath the floats here. You don't have to fish very deep. And like I said, you can take a crankbait, a swim jig, jerk bait, spinner bait, something like that, and catch them here. And like I said, when you get to the other end of it, make sure you put your boat in good position to make that cast. One of the biggest keys when you're fishing breakwalls is casting accuracy. Unless the water is like really clear and these fish are suspended out away from the docks, the whole key to catching fish on these breakwalls is you got to get the bait right next to the breakwall. I'm talking like inches away from it. If you get it like 12 inches or 2 foot away from the breakwall, a lot of times you're never going to get a bite. So your boat positioning and your casting angle has to be key. It's not like you have to make repetitive casts, but you have to make good casts. So make sure that when you approach these things, you've got your boat lined up at the right angle. Make good, precise casts. Try to get that bait as close as you can to the dock. And like I said, they're great places to catch fish. You can catch fish on breakwalls all year long. In the winter time, I catch a lot of fish on like Alabama rigs, swim baits, and jerk baits. And as the water gets warmer, it's more of like a, crankbait, swim jig, drop shot, that type of stuff. So hope it helps you guys catch a few, and we'll talk later. See you.